a bunch of twisting and turning. It's going to feel really good at the end of the practice. Get that all out. So we're going to start on our mats, lying down on our backs. Make sure you have your water nearby. We'll get into it. All right. So lie on your backs and bend your knees. Now, before we start in our first pose, just take a moment to get used to your breath, breathing in and out through your nose, trying to take long, deep inhales and exhales through your nose for the entirety of the practice. So for the rest of the practice, if that's one thing you can do, is just use your breath to breathe slowly and deeply through your nose. That will be yoga. Now, the next thing I'd like you to do, if you want, is to quietly set an intention. Maybe just close your eyes for a moment. Set your intention for your practice or for your day or maybe more. And just hold that thought for a moment. And then let that go. It's still there with you, but now we'll focus on the breath work, the asana, and the intention will remain in our subconscious. All right. We're going to start with eagle abs. So I'd like you to cross your right leg over your left. And then I'd like you to bring your arms up towards the ceiling, bend the elbows, and cross the left over your right. So the elbows cross. Now bring the backs of the hands together right in front of your face, or if you want one more cross, you can cross at the wrist. So you have eagle arms and eagle legs. Now you lift the legs up off the mat so that the knees are pointing towards your face. You can twist one more time at the bottom if you want to wrap that right ankle underneath the left ankle. It's up to you. You can or you don't have to. All right, so this is neutral. Our legs and our arms are lifted, but they're not extended out beyond us and they're not crunched in together. Now we're going to extend and crunch. So inhale, extend your arms in this eagle position further forward above your face and extend your legs further down beyond you. And then crunch that shape in, bringing the knees to the elbows at the center of your abdomen. Then exhale as you open it up, lengthen, legs away from arms. Inhale, bring them together and crunch. Exhale as you lengthen. Inhale as you crunch. Exhale, lengthen. Inhale, crunch. We're taking these very slow. Exhale, move your arms and legs away from each other. Inhale, move the knees and elbows together. Exhale, lengthen away from the middle. Inhale, bring everything to center. Exhale as you lengthen, arms and legs away from each other. Inhale, come to center. And lengthen. And center. Keep breathing. And lengthen. And come to center. Let's do one more. Lengthen arms and legs away from each other. Inhale, bring them to center. Then release your legs down onto the mat. Uncross the legs. Uncross your arms. Release them by your sides. Let the knees knock in together and just rest for a moment before we do the other side. You should feel this in your core. You should feel those abs working here. All right. Cross your left leg on top of your right. Bring your arms up, bend your elbows, and cross your right arm on top of your left, maybe crossing at the wrists again. Eagle arms and eagle legs. Lift the legs up so the knees are pointed towards your chest. And maybe wrap one more time at the ankles if you want. You don't have to. Inhale, take a breath. Exhale, lengthen. Knees and elbows away from each other. Inhale, bring them in and crunch. Exhale as you lengthen. Inhale, crunch. Make sure your back is on the mat here. And I mean fully on the mat. Lengthen. That means try to keep no space between your back and the mat. So if you find yourself arching, bring it together. Knees to elbows. If you find yourself arching, try to flatten that back down. All right, lengthen, knees and elbows away from each other, and then come in. Lengthen. Inhale, crunch. Exhale, lengthen knees and elbows away from each other, away from the midline. Inhale, crunch those knees and elbows together. Exhale as you lengthen. Inhale, crunch to center. Exhale, lengthen away. Inhale, crunch to center. Exhale, lengthen. Inhale, crunch. We're doing 2 more. Exhale as you lengthen. Inhale, crunch to center. Lengthen. And last crunch in. Then release your arms and legs by your side, uncrossing everything. So good. Just let those knees knock in together. Take a breath. And then lengthen your legs all the way along the mat and stretch your arms overhead. Get a big stretch here from fingertips to toes. And then flex your feet. And on your next inhale, lift your arms up towards the ceiling. Then start to curl yourself up all the way to seated. Coming through that sit-up. Reach for your toes. Then sit up straight. Release your arms by your sides. Bring your knees into your chest. And then cross your legs. Walk your hands out in front of you. Push the weight into your hands so your hips can come back. And then release your cross of your legs behind you. And maybe walk down into the middle of the mat. Find tabletop. Hips directly over knees. Shoulders right over wrists. Inhale as you drop your belly. Lift your gaze. Lift your hips for cow pose. Exhale as you round your spine. Curl it up towards the ceiling. Finding cat. Tucking that chin. Inhale for cow. Dropping the belly. Exhale for cat. Rounding the spine up. Inhale for cow. And exhale for cat. Come to neutral. Start to walk your hands out in front of you, keeping your hips lifted. Walk your hands all the way out, and then bring your elbows down to the mat when you feel it's necessary. And then your head comes to the mat. Come into puppy pose. Breathe here for a moment. Slow, deep breaths. Push the mat away with your forehead and lift your elbows up. Push the mat away with your hands and lift your hips forward and down. Bring them to the mat. Come to Sphinx. Elbows right under shoulders. Heart is lifted. Gaze forward. Good. Lift your right elbow up off the mat, pushing the right hand into the mat. And twist your torso a little bit to the right, looking to the right. Just finding this little twist. Lower the right elbow back down to the mat. Push the left hand into the mat as you lift the left elbow and twist your torso to the left, taking a glance at that left wall. Good. Come back down. Switch. Lift the right elbow. Look to the right wall. Bring it down. Come to center. Lift the left elbow. Look to the left wall. Just these tiny little micro twists. Bring it back down. One more time each side. Lift the right elbow. Slightly twist your torso to the right. Look at that wall. Bring it down. Lift the left elbow. Look at that left wall. Little twist. Bring it down. Press your hands into the mat as you lift your hips up and back. And then walk your hands back as far as you can so that your hips can sit onto your heels, coming into child's pose. Open your knees. And then start to walk your hands to the right. Bring your forehead with it, but keep your bottom part of your body where it is, getting a side stretch. Take a breath. And then walk your hands to center and then over to the left. Bring your head back down, child's pose with your hands outstretched towards the left. Good. Come to center. Push your hands into the mat, lift your hips, come through tabletop. Tuck your toes under, lift your hips up and back, come into down dog. It's our first dog of the day, so let's walk it a little bit. Let's bend the right knee, then the left, and keep switching, feeling that alternate hamstring stretch. Continue pushing the mat away and really finding that length through your spine by getting that tailbone really high and back. You have kind of this cursive shaped V with your body. It's not a straight up and down V that's upside down, but it's got a little slant to it. Keep breathing. And then on your next inhale, bend both of your knees. Tilt your tailbone even higher towards the ceiling. Really push it up. Push those hips up and back. Find that length in your spine here, and then start to straighten your legs and lower those heels back towards the mat, keeping the length in your spine. Let your head hang heavy. And then on your next inhale, bend your knees, lift your heels, look forward, and step, step, step to the top of the mat. Hands and feet in between your hands. Forward fold. And slowly roll up to standing. Arms come by your sides. Tadasana, mountain pose. I will fix my mic pack real quick. All right. Inhale as you lift your arms overhead. Exhale, hinge at your hips and fold forward with a flat spine coming down. Inhale, lengthen your spine, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Plant your palms and step your feet to the back of the mat for high plank, top of a push-up. Here you can lower your knees, hold your inhale, exhale, chaturanga. Lower all the way to the mat. Release your tucked toes and release your arms by your sides. Then bring your hands behind your butt and clasp all 10 fingers together. Inhale is that you lift your heart, lift your head, lift those clasped hands. And exhale, release, but keep your hands together. Let's take that again. Inhale, lift your heart, lift your head, lift your chest, lift the hands. Can you hover the feet up? And lower, but keep the hands together. One more. Inhale, lift the head, the heart, the chest, peel that up, lift the hands, lift those legs up behind you. Can you hover the feet, maybe the knees, maybe even the thighs come up? Hold it, keep breathing. Take another breath here. Lift a little higher. And exhale, release to the mat. Now release your hands and bring them beside your chest, fingertips right under the shoulders. Tuck your toes under, push the mat away, lift up into plank, and then send the hips up and back, down dog. Good. Bend your knees, lift your heels, look forward. Step or hop to the top of the mat. Forward fold. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, fold. Hold your fold here. Bend your right knee. Keep breathing. Then bend your left knee, straighten your right leg. Switch. Bend the right knee, straighten the left leg. And switch again. Then bend both knees, tiny micro bend. Let your hands hang heavy and slowly roll up to standing, one vertebra at a time. Head is the last thing to lift. Arms come by your sides for Tadasana. Good. Let's build a little more heat. Inhale as your arms come overhead. Exhale, hinge and fold. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, fold and step back to plank. Hold on your inhale. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, cobra or up dog. Take your back bend. Exhale, hips lift, tuck your toes, down dog. Inhale, bend your knees, look forward. Step or hop to the top of the mat, forward fold. Exhale. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, rise to stand with a flat back. Then bring your arms down by your sides. Inhale, arms come overhead. Exhale, hinge and fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Plant your palms, step back to plank. Hold on your inhale. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, cobra or up dog. Exhale, shift your hips up and back as you tuck your toes for down dog. Inhale, bend your knees, look forward. Exhale, step or hop to the top of the mat, forward fold. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, rise to stand with a flat back. Arms come overhead. Exhale, bring your hands to heart center and breathe. Maybe it's time to recall that intention and then return to the breath. Inhale, bring your arms overhead. Exhale, hinge and fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, plant your palms, step back to plank. Hold it on your inhale. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, cobra or up dog. Exhale, shift your hips up and back. Take your down dog. Now walk your feet forward a little bit. Shorten your dog. Lift your right hand up and reach it to your outside left ankle. Try to bend the right elbow to pull your face under that left armpit and maybe look up at the ceiling, feeling a side stretch. And release the right hand to the mat. Pick up the left hand, reach it to the outside of the right ankle, and do the same stretch on this side. Bend that elbow, pull your torso in and down towards that right thigh, and look up underneath your right armpit, up at that ceiling. Then release the left hand on the mat. Breathe here. Walk your dog out a little bit, so walk those legs back a little. Lower your forearms to the mat for dolphin. Push the mat away with your forearms. Really push it. Now lift your right elbow up only. So you're looking underneath your right arm with your face. So right elbow is lifted, left elbow is down. You're twisting your torso a little bit to the right. Lower the right elbow. Pick up the left elbow. Torso twist slightly to the left. Look under that left armpit. It's kind of like what we were doing in down dog with the stretch. Trying to get that face under to look up at the ceiling. Lower the left elbow down. Lift up the right elbow. Slight torso twist looking at that right wall. Bring the right elbow down. Lift the left elbow up. Slight torso twist to the left. Then lower the left elbow down. Both elbows are down. Come up onto the hands now, lifting both elbows, down dog. Bend your knees, look forward. On your exhale, step or hop to the top of the mat, forward fold. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, rise to stand with a flat back as your arms come overhead. And exhale, bring your hands to heart center. Inhale, bring your arms up and over. Exhale, hinge and fold. Hold your fold. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, fold. Plant your palms, step your feet to the back of the mat, high plank, top of a push-up. Hold on your inhale. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, cobra or up dog. Exhale, shift your hips up and back, down dog. Good. Inhale, stay here, and exhale. Inhale, bend your knees, walk your feet forward. Stay in your forward fold, but this time, when you land in your forward fold, I want you to step your right foot behind your left, so your legs are crossed in your forward fold. Right leg behind left. Hold it here. Just breathe. Maybe feeling a little bit of a different or deeper stretch with your legs crossed. You can have a slight bend in your knees. Keep the weight shifted forward. And then slowly bend your knees a little bit more and roll yourself up to standing with those legs crossed. Good. Bring your arms overhead. Bend your knees deeper and sit down. Your left foot will naturally rise up off the mat, and you'll find yourself in the eagle chair legs. Both knees are bent. That left knee is wrapped on top of your right. Now bring your arms down and cross the right arm under your left. Bend at the elbows, bring the backs of the hands together, or cross once more at the wrists. Stay here in your eagle chair. Get a little lower with those hips. Wrap the ribs in. Take a breath. One more inhale. And exhale. Inhale, start to rise, uncross your arms, bring them overhead. Lift the left knee, don't set it down. Lift it in towards your chest. Then bend the right knee and send the left foot to the back of the mat, coming into a crescent lunge. Good. Then lower the left knee down onto the mat. Keep that tuck of your left toes. Left toes remain tucked. Anjaneyasana. We've got two 90-degree angles here with our knees. Really wrap the ribs in. Pull the femur bones up and in. Find that engagement. Take a breath. Bend your right hand so that it comes down behind your back and grab the right elbow with the left hand. Just feel a stretch. Inhale, lift your arms back overhead. Exhale, bring your hands to the mat, framing the right foot. Remember, left toes are tucked. Now put the right hand on the inside of the right foot. Start to walk your hands over to the left as you lift up that left knee and turn those back toes outward. Then you squat all the way down, finding low malasana, yogi squat, hands come to heart center. Breathe here in your malasana. Use those elbows to push the knees open. Then release the right arm down so the right hand comes to the mat just on the outside of your right knee. So the elbow's still pressing into the knee, but the hand is in front and out to the side a little bit. Then lift the left arm to the sky, open twist, turning your torso to the left. Take a breath. Come back to center, hands to heart center again. Keeping that left elbow really glued to the inside of your left knee. Lower the left hand to the mat, pushing it outward. And then lift the right arm to the sky, opening your torso for a twist to the right. Come back to center, hands at heart center. Now start to place your hands down on the mat, walk them back towards the front of the room, lowering that left knee back down to the mat. Right knee comes back up, finding yourself in Anjaneyasana again. Lift your arms, lift your torso, wrap the ribs in, find the engagement. So good. Keep breathing. Inhale. Exhale, release your hands down to the mat and framing that right foot. This time, bring the left hand to the outside of the right foot. And then start walking both of your hands towards the right, twisting your body, allowing your right knee to drop down and open, finding this awkward twist here. So you're on the outer edge of your right foot and of your back foot. Now, you're going to feel this in your outer hips here, so you can stay here, or if it's in your mobility, if you feel like it's an easy go for you, you can lower your hips down and back between your legs and find a Gomukhasana pose. Your knees are stacking on top of each other. The right foot is a little more forward. It's a little less traditional, but it's Gomukhasana, feeling that hip stretch. All right. If you're in Gomukhasana, push the hands into the mat to lift your hips forward and up. Walk your hands out in front of you. And then where everybody else, let's start walking our hands back towards the front of the room, coming back into Anjaneyasana. Good. Tuck your left toes under. Walk your hands out further in front of you. Lift the left knee up. Walk the hands out a little further and start to straighten your right leg as you lift your left leg up behind you for standing splits. Try to keep the hips neutral here. Hips are square. Left leg is lifted parallel to the mat, and the left toes are flexed at the mat. Now open the left toes so they turn out to the left. hip opens to the left, and lift that left arm all the way up towards the ceiling for half moon. Take a couple breaths here. Then lower your left hand to the mat, square your hips off. Really root your left hand down and lift your right arm up to the ceiling for revolved half moon. Lower the right hand down. Stay in standing splits for another breath. Then start to bend your right leg and take a big step back with your left foot, landing the ball of the left foot at the back of the mat. Start to walk your hands to the left, taking a quarter turn to the left. All 10 toes turn to face the left wall. Straighten your legs out. Find yourself in a wide leg forward fold. Your back is still lifted here. So now let your back come down, hinging forward, walking those hands down in between your legs, finding the hamstring stretch in your Prasarita Padottanasana, wide leg forward fold. Good. Press the mat away as you lift your spine, find a flat back. Now turn your right toes out just a tad and put a deep bend in your right knee, walking your hands a little more to the right. Now walk your right hand all the way to the outside of your right foot. Lift your left arm to the sky. You're on the inside edge of your back foot. Now lift up your right knee in towards your chest and shoot it out in front of you for fallen triangle, lifting your hips up. Good. Breathe. Take another breath here. Really lifting those hips. And then lower your left hand to the mat, keeping the cross of your legs. Just drag that right foot back in front of your left foot. Feet are crossed. Now walk your hands back in front of your feet to find a cross leg forward fold. Knees can be bent, but just keep those legs crossed. Find a different stretch. Good. Now walk your hands back out, keeping the cross of your legs, coming into plank. Now bring your right knee to your chest and step the right foot down in between your hands. Turn the left toes out a little bit and step them out to the side a little bit and straighten both legs. Find pyramid pose. So the left toes are pointed at the top left corner of the mat. There's some width in between the legs. Make sure you're not on a tightrope here. Your torso is still bent over that extended right leg. Maybe come down a little deeper, bringing that forehead towards the knee, towards the shin. Then plant the left palm or the left fingertips into the mat on the inside of your right foot and lift the right arm to the sky for your revolved pyramid pose. So good. Keep breathing. Return your right hand to the mat. Walk the left hand to the outside of the right foot. So both hands are on the right side of the right foot. Keep walking them to the right. Take a quarter turn. You're going to find this wide-legged twist here. It's a little bit funky, but it gets into different parts of your hips. You'll find yourself on the outer edges of your feet as you come into this twist. Now put a bend in your right knee. Put a deep bend so you can bring your left hand to the front of the mat on the outside of your foot. So it's underneath your shoulder at the front of the mat. Lift your right arm to the sky. Pick up that right foot, bring the right knee into your chest, and then send the right foot back on top of the left, finding side plank Vashisthasana. Really pick those hips up. Take another breath. Then on your next exhale, return your right hand to the mat, coming into plank. Bring your right knee to your chest. Step that right foot in between your hands. Find a low crescent lunge. Lift your torso. Raise your arms. Bring your arms down and cross them in front of you. Right arm under left. Bend at the elbows. Fronts of the hands together or cross again at the wrists. Find eagle arms in your crescent pose. Good. Now start to twist your toes, your whole body, everything to the left. Bending that left knee, turning the left toes out, finding goddess pose. So a wide-legged squat here, still having eagle arms. Sit a little deeper. Lift the torso up and keep breathing. Inhale as you straighten your legs, come up, unwrap the arms, bring them out to a T. Turn your left toes to face the left wall and turn your right toes to face the front of the room. Shift your hips back, reach your right fingertips forward, and then release your right hand onto your shin. Left arm comes to the sky, Trikonasana, triangle pose. You can either gaze down at your right foot or straight at the wall in front of you or up at your left thumb. Continue to breathe wherever you are. Find some length between your collarbones, length from wrist to wrist, length in your legs. Just breathe into this. Then slowly start to reach your left arm behind your back, wrapping it around the base of your spine, and then trying to bring that left fingertip to touch the top of the right thigh. Put a deep bend in your right knee. Bring your right elbow on top of the right knee and stay here for your extended side angle, or release your right hand to the mat in front of your right foot. Try to keep the torso open towards the side of the room, shoulders open. Third option, wrap the right hand under your right thigh and try to reach both hands together to find the bind behind your right thigh. Good. Release the bind. Bring the right hand to the mat. Left arm comes back overhead. Then bring the left hand down to the mat, coming onto the ball of your left foot. Bring the right hand to the outside of the right foot. Find yourself in a low crescent lunge. Breathe in your crescent lunge. And then slowly start to drag that back foot up and in so that your left leg lands behind your right leg and you'll find yourself in a cross leg forward fold. The right foot in front of the left. Just breathe in this cross-legged forward fold. So good. Inhale as you slowly bend your knees and start to roll up to standing, keeping those crossed legs. Come to Tadasana with the crossed legs. Now start to put a bend in both of your knees. That right foot will naturally lift up a little off the mat. You'll find eagle legs. Bring your arms overhead. And then swing them down, crossing the right elbow under your left, or whichever cross you didn't take last time. It might be left under right. Finding eagle chair. Breathe as you sink deeper. Wrap the ribs in. Engage the core, engage your glutes. Hold yourself here. On your next inhale, start to rise up to standing, uncrossing your arms, uncrossing your legs, but lifting that right knee in towards your chest. Then stepping the right foot to the back of the mat as you bend your left leg, and then lower the right knee onto the mat. Lift your arms overhead, Anjaneyasana. You still have those right toes tucked. Pull the core in, pull in the femur bones, find that wrapping in so you can engage. So good. Inhale. And exhale. Inhale. And exhale. Bring your hands down to the mat, framing the left foot. Bring the left hand to the inside of the left foot. Start taking a quarter turn to the left, lifting up the right knee as you turn the right toes outward, and then sink your hips back and down. Hands come to heart center, and the outsides of the elbows push into the insides of your knees. Find Malasana. Take a breath. Keeping that left elbow really glued to the inside of your left knee, extend the left hand down towards the mat. Reach the right arm to the sky, open twist torso to the right. Come back to center, hands to heart center. Keep that right elbow glued to the inside of your right knee and extend the right hand down towards the mat. Lift the left arm towards the ceiling, finding that side twist. Come back to center, hands at heart center. Place the hands down on the mat, shift the weight into the hands, and start to walk them towards the front of the room, bringing that right knee back down to the mat. Hands frame the left foot back into Anjaneyasana asana. Lift the torso, raise the arms. Take another breath. Now this time you can untuck those back right toes and release the hands down to the mat, framing the left foot. Now start to walk the right hand to the outside of the left foot and taking a quarter turn to the left, spin everything that way. You'll naturally come to the outside edges of your feet and your left knee will come down towards the middle of the mat. Stay here for this hip stretch or sit back and down, sit your hips down in between your legs behind you, finding Gomukhasana, a little bit of a funky version of Gomukhasana. Deeper hip stretch. Just breathe into it. If you're in Gomukhasana, press the mat away at the sides of your hips so you can lift your hips up and walk your hands forward. Now start to walk the hands quarter turn towards the front of the room, lifting that left knee back up, coming into Anjaneyasana again. Torso rises, arms come overhead. Exhale, bring your hands down to the mat. Tuck the right toes under as you lift the right knee up off the mat. Start to walk your hands further forward on the mat in front of you, and then straighten your left leg, bringing the right leg up behind you for standing splits. Hips are square, right toes are flexed at the mat. Keep breathing. On your next inhale, turn those right toes out to the right side of the room, opening the hip up to the right, and then extend the right arm up to the ceiling to find half moon. Good. Return the right hand to the mat. Turn the toes back down. Those right toes come back down. Leg is still lifted. Plant the left palm or the left finger, or the right palm or the right fingertips firmly into the mat as you lift your left arm to the sky for revolved half moon. And release that left hand to the mat. Get a deep bend in your left knee as you step your right foot to the back of the mat, finding a low crescent lunge. Just breathe into the crescent lunge for a moment. And then start to walk your hands to the right side of the room, spinning your toes, spinning your torso, taking that quarter turn, finding wide-legged forward fold, Prasarita Padottanasana. Walk your hands further back in between your legs, trying to bring your forehead to the mat. Keep that weight shifted forward into the balls of your feet. Stretch your hamstrings and stretch your back. Good. Push your hands into the mat as you walk them out in front of your face. And then slightly turn the left toes out just a tiny bit. Start to walk your hands to the left as you put a deep bend in your left knee. Now bring the left hand to the outside of your left foot. Reach your right arm to the sky. Really pull that left knee into your chest and then shoot out in front of you for fallen triangle. Keep your hips lifted here. And then return the right hand to the mat as you drag that left foot back to the back of the mat, crossing it in front of the right foot. And then walk your hands to the back of the mat, coming to a cross-legged forward fold. Just breathe into it. Take another breath in this cross-legged forward fold. And then start to walk your hands back towards the front of the mat, coming into the cross-legged plank. Then bring the left knee in towards your chest and step the left foot down in between the hands. Rotate your back foot outward so that your right heel comes onto the mat and the right toes face the top right corner of the mat, and then straighten the left leg. Torso is still bent over this left leg. You'll find yourself in pyramid pose. Take another breath here. Push your right hand or your right fingertips into the mat as you extend the left arm to the sky. Twist your torso to the left, revolved pyramid. Inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. Inhale, exhale. Place the left hand down on the mat and start walking your hands to the outside of your left foot, taking a quarter turn to the left for a revolved cross-legged forward fold. Stretching the outer hips here and the inner hips, kind of getting a funky stretch. You're on the outer edges of your feet. Now put a deep bend in the left knee as you walk your hands to the right, bringing the right hand to the front of the mat, right under your right shoulder. Lift your left arm to the sky. Pull that left knee up and in, and then shoot it back on top of your right foot for Vashisthasana, side plank. Hold your hips up high here. Take another inhale. Exhale, return the left hand to the mat, coming into plank pose. Inhale, bring your left knee to your chest. Step the left foot through in between your hands. Find a low crescent lunge. Lift your torso. Raise your arms. Good. Bend your left elbow here. So your left hand comes to your back. And then bring the right hand on top of your left elbow for a little stretch. Then bring your arms back up towards the sky. And swing them down as you cross your left arm under your right, then back to the hands together, cross at the wrists, find eagle arms. Take a quarter turn to the right, opening that right knee out, turning the right toes out, finding the low goddess temple squat. Toes turn outward, your arms are still in eagle. Good. Continue to breathe. Sit a little lower. Next, inhale, straighten your legs, come up to stand. Release your arms, bring them to a T. Take a quarter turn with your feet, meaning just turn your right toes in, facing that right wall, and turn your left toes out, facing the front of the room. Shift your hips back, reach your left fingertips forward, and then release the left hand onto your shin or the mat. Right arm raises towards the sky. Look up at that wall or at your thumb, wherever it feels good. Find Trikonasana, triangle pose. Keep breathing. Then reach your right arm behind your back, wrapping around the base of your back. Try to grab the top left thigh with your fingertips. Put a deep bend in your left knee and bend your left elbow and bring it on top of your left knee for side angle. You can stay here, or option 2, release the left hand to the mat on the inside of the left foot. Keep some length here in your spine and some width in your chest. So you're really opening it towards the side of the room. Option 3, reach your left hand under your left thigh and join it together with your right hand for a bind behind your left thigh, right where your thigh and your hip meet. But keep the chest open. If you've got the bind, release it. If you've got the half bind, release your right arm towards the sky. And then bring the right hand down to the mat, spinning onto the ball of your right foot. Left hand walks to the outside of your left leg. And now slowly start to drag your back foot up and in towards the front of the mat.
Bringing the right leg behind the left, landing in a cross-legged forward fold. Good, hold your fold. On your next inhale, bend your knees slightly and slowly roll up to standing. Arms come by your sides. Tadasana. Release the cross of your legs, bringing the right leg next to the left. Inhale, arms overhead. Exhale, hinge and fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Plant your palms, step back to plank. Hold on your inhale. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, cobra or up dog. Exhale, shift your hips up and back, down dog. Inhale. And exhale. Inhale. And exhale. Inhale, release your knees down to the mat. Open the knees up wide. Send your hips back and down onto your heels, coming into child's pose. Inhale, push your hands into the mat. Lift your hips up. Move forward, bringing the hips all the way down onto the mat, and then releasing your head down to the mat. Extend your arms by your side. Palms face down. Untucked toes. Find some length here. Inhale as you lift your head, your heart, your shoulders. Then lift your arms up. Then lift your legs up. Fly yourself up here, using those back muscles. Exhale, release to the mat. Let's do that again. Inhale, lift your head, your heart, your shoulders. Lift your hands, lift your feet and your legs. Those thighs up, come up high. And release. One more. Inhale, lift your head, heart, shoulders, arms, legs. Come up higher. Hold. Take a breath. Hold. And release. Good. Kick your right foot in towards your hips. Reach back with your right hand to grab your right foot. Extend your left arm out in front of you. Inhale, lift your left arm, your head, your heart, your shoulders. Kick that right foot into your right hand. And release. Come back to neutral. So arms by your sides, letting that right leg go. Kick the left foot in towards your left hip. Reach back with your left hand. Grab the outside of the left foot. Extend your right arm forward. On your next inhale, lift the right arm and your head and your chest and shoulders. And then kick the left foot into your left hand. And release. Release that all together, walking your hands out beside you. And then kick both feet in towards your hips. Reach back with one hand, then another, to grab the tops of both of the feet. If you can't grab the feet here, just get the feeling of grabbing the feet and reaching back. That'll be enough. All right, if you have the feet grabbed, on your inhale, lift your head and your heart and your shoulders. Kick both feet into the hands. Lift your knees up, lift the thighs up. Come up into Dhanurasana, bow pose. Breathe and lift. Take another breath. One more breath here. And exhale, release. So good. Bring your hands outside of your chest, fingertips under your shoulders. Push the mat away. Lift your hips up and back as you open your knees. Take another child's pose. All right, press into your hands as you lift your hips. Cross your feet behind you. And then walk your hands back, sitting your hips down and back behind your crossed leg. Now extend your leg to the front of the room. Dandasana, staff pose. Legs are straight, they're extended, spine is long. Really lift here. Bend your right knee in towards your chest. Pick up the right heel and bring the right foot to the outside of the left leg, right outside the left knee. You can either stay here or you can bend the left knee as well so that the left heel comes in towards your right sitting bones. A little bit of a deeper stretch here. All right, find the length. Your right sole of the foot is on the mat. Inhale. Exhale, bring your right hand behind you, placing it on the mat at the base of your spine, and then cross the left arm in front of you so that the left elbow lands on the outside of the right knee. Use that connection to push you deeper into the twist. So push that left elbow into your right knee and open up further to the right, twisting your torso, keeping your spine long. Take another couple breaths. And exhale. Inhale. And exhale. Inhale. And exhale. On your next inhale, come back to center. Release your arms out in front of you. Pick up the right leg, bring it back over to the right and extend it long on the mat. Extend the left leg long. Good. Get a long spine again here. Bend your left leg. Pick up the left ankle to bring the left foot to the outside of the right knee. You can stay here, or again, bend the extended leg so that your right heel comes just in front of your left sitting bones. Make sure you're not sitting on it though. Both hips should be rooted here. All right, find the length in your spine. Inhale and exhale. Bring the left hand to the mat behind you at the base of your spine. Cross the right arm in front of you. Bring the right elbow to touch the outside of the left knee. And then use that to torque a little bit deeper. Find the twist. Inhale, lengthen, and exhale. As your rib cage draws in, you can find a little more space and twist deeper. Take another breath. Then on your inhale, come back to center. Pick up the left leg, bring it back to the left, bring the right knee back to the right. Extend both legs out in front of you. Find a long spine. Inhale as you bring your arms overhead. Exhale, hinge and fold forward. Try to keep your back straight and long as possible. Maybe come down very slowly so you can keep that length in your spine. Find length on each inhale, feeling that crown being pulled towards the center of the room. So like up and out. And each exhale, bowing a little further forward. Keep breathing and keep going. Take 3 more breaths here. On your 4th inhale, lift your torso. Start to walk your hands back towards your midline so you can bring it up even higher. Coming back to neutral, back to center. Good. Scooch down on the mat a little bit if you need to ensure that your hips are in the middle of the mat and not all the way up towards the top. And then release your back down onto the mat. Roll back and down. Good. Bring your right knee into your chest and then open the right knee to the right and set the outside of the right ankle on top of your left knee. Open your arms to a T or to a cactus position. Now with your legs, just like this figure 4 leg, simply drape both of your legs over to the left. The sole of the right foot will come to the mat and you'll still find this funky position, these funky figure 4 legs or pigeon legs, whatever you want to call them. And the right knee is pointed up towards the ceiling. You should feel this in your hips. So you've got some spinal twists going on. You've got some hip stretching going on. And you just breathe into it. Allow it to be. Try to melt those shoulder blades down. All right, inhale, come back up to center. Release the right foot. Bend the left knee, bring it in towards your chest, and then open it to the left so you can set the outside of your left ankle on top of your right knee. Arms come back out to that T or to the cactus position. And now you simply drape both of your legs over to the right so that the sole of your left foot lands on the mat and the left knee is still pointed up towards the ceiling. Shoulder blades are rooting into the mat, melting down, twisting and stretching. Slowly come back to center. Release your cross of your left leg. And then bring both knees into your chest and give them a squeeze. But keep your back grounded. Don't lift your head up here. Keep it down. Keep your entire back on the mat. Maybe you can grab on top of your shins with your forearms and pull down a little deeper. Try to keep your neck neutral here. And then extend your legs long on the mat and let your arms go by your sides. Open your feet up, hips width distance or wider. Open your arms up so there's space between your rib cage and your arms. Close your eyes. Start to melt everything down. Let gravity do its thing and just relax. Find Shavasana. Slowly bring some awareness back into your room, into your body, into this space. And then in whichever manner you wish, either rolling or rocking, come up to a seated position. Keep your eyes closed. And bring your hands to your heart center. Maybe recall at this moment the intention you set at the beginning of practice. And either choose to hold it, or maybe ask if you fulfilled it, or maybe it's something you want to use for the rest of the day, or simply let go. Just take a moment.
Thank you so much for practicing with us today. Namaste.